Welcome into another video, and this is my third installment of the Black Monday series with Pete Carroll and the Las Vegas Raiders parting ways, firing, however you want to call it, the legendary, the future Hall of Fame Pete Carroll. And it's sad, you know that a legend's probably done, and overall, it was the right call, but you just know that a legend is probably done, and I really do hope that we don't really look back on this 1 year in Las Vegas too much. I hope we remember him more for USC and Seattle, which he probably will. But, in the modern world, people always like to bring up one sour season. I hope this is like Michael Jordan's time with the Wizards. We just don't talk about it. We just do not talk about it whatsoever because he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Overall, a really smart decision from the Las Vegas Raiders to move on here. You are about to enter into one of the most important eras of your franchise right now, probably your most important since 2007. This is huge, and Pete Carroll cannot be the one to right this ship. I liked the Pete Carroll hiring. I was a fan of it. I had my concerns with how far he could take them in the long run. I immediately thought he was going to come in and bring this up to a 7-8 win team. No doubt about it. In my head, this team was going to win 7 or 8 games, raise the bar, and really get the best out of his players. My concern was down the line, I don't know if he's ever going to be good enough to land a true quarterback that's going to take him to the promised land because they acquired Geno Smith, yada, yada. Overall, nightmare. Exact opposite of what my concerns were. I did not see this team ending up with the number 1 overall pick in any way, shape, or form, but now they do, and now they have it, and you cannot have Pete Carroll be the one to right that ship. There's no doubt about it. He's just not built for that role right now at this point in his career, and now because Kevin Stefanski's on the market. Clint Kubiak, another bright offensive name right now who you could pair with whoever you plan on selecting at number 1 overall. Regardless, it just can't be Pete Carroll. So I think the Raiders made a phenomenal decision with this one. And of all the head coaches that they've had over the last few years, I'm sure they're probably number 1 in the amount of head coaches that they've had. It's been a lot. This is the most important one by far. By far. It doesn't matter that you hired Pete Carroll. It doesn't matter that you had Josh McDaniels, Antonio Pierce, Rich Bisaccia, John Gruden. None of those matter. That is all old news behind you in the past. You have right now the most important decision to make for your franchise right here, right now, and that is who you select to be your head coach. In my head, I know people are worried if Clint Kubiak can, run a team and organize a team, but I would love to see his run scheme with Ashton Jeanty, number 1 overall pick quarterback, Brock Bowers. This is a good destination. This is a good destination to come to. Obviously, getting the rights to the number 1 overall pick, beautiful. Any head coach is going to want to have their chance at that. But you have guys on that roster like Brock Bowers and Ashton Jeanty had potential. Brock Bowers is already probably the best tight end in the league right there with Trey McBride. You've seen the potential with Ashton Jeanty to be an elite running back in the NFL. It's about fixing the offensive line and getting down the quarterback. And obviously, defensive changes need to come along with that as well. But there's a lot of positives to build off of. Jack Betch, another, possibly good option. Trey Tucker, you saw a lot of good things out of Trey Tucker this year. But the offensive line needs a lot of work. They've got to overhaul that thing. Colton Miller, obviously, will be back, and I think he'll be fine. He's been in and out of the lineup all year long. The rest of them, though, DJ Glaze didn't really have that great of a year. Jackson Powers Johnson, what a disappointment he's been. Regardless, offensive line needs an absolute overhaul. But I really would love to see Clint Kubiak or Kevin Stefanski probably be the choices here. I think those two right there, you're finally going to give Kevin Stefanski the opportunity to choose and draft his quarterback and build him up. And you're seeing the early comps of calling Mendoza a more athletic Kirk Cousins. Kevin Stefanski spent a couple of years with Kirk Cousins in Minnesota and had him playing pretty damn good football. And with Clint Kubiak and those running schemes coming from the Shanahan tree, it's beautiful what he could do with Ashton Jeanty. I think he has Sam Darnold playing at a really good level. I also see comps of Sam Darnold with Fernando Mendoza, just not a huge arm, makes the right read, makes the right plays. That's what Clint Kubiak's doing right now with Sam Darnold in Seattle. I think those two are probably your best 2 options if you're the Las Vegas Raiders. Those are probably the 2 that I'm pounding the table for right now. I could understand some concerns with Kevin Stefanski just got fired. Kind of a messy situation with the quarterback in Cleveland year after year after year, but he's never had this kind of opportunity. And I would love to kind of see him get the opportunity. I think after getting fired by Cleveland, he's the best option on the market right now. I would love to see him paired up in Las Vegas with the number 1 overall pick, whoever they decide to go with, Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore. I'm not even sure who I want to choose right now. If I was a betting man and I was going off of what I've seen so far, I'm probably rolling with Mendoza, but there's a lot of people that think the ceiling and the athleticism and all of that of Moore can probably get him to that number 1 pick spot. It'll be interesting to see. Overall, clean slate in Las Vegas. I like the decision from them. It's going to be interesting to see how these next few weeks pan out. If I know Mark Davis, I'm a little concerned, but you got John Spytek and Tom Brady right now calling the shots, now find themselves in a position with the number 1 overall pick. You got to have a little faith in Brady, right? I know it's only year 2 of him kind of in this situation, being in this situation, but he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. So you got to have a little faith. At the same time, Michael Jordan couldn't really run the Charlotte Hornets that too well. So maybe not. Maybe the GOAT doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to this kind of shit. And we're going to find out over the next few years. But I love the situation. I love the setup for the Las Vegas Raiders. Having the number 1 overall pick, very exciting. My Chicago Bears just had that 2 years ago. Caleb Williams, love him to death. Amazing. And I hope the same things for Raiders fans. I hope it works out well for them. You should be excited if you're a Raiders fan to look towards the future and, kind of hit the ground running with your number 1 overall pick and your new head coach. And it's an exciting time. It's a very exciting time. I just hope they don't mess this one up, because this is a franchise that deserves a winner, deserves a quarterback. Been a lot of long years for this franchise. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.